We have a little back room that was added onto the back of our house, and Martin redid it about 10 years ago. When he did that, he added this pantry. I love it. It's about a foot deep at least and covers the whole wall. One thing I've been doing is I've been organizing, throwing things away, my shelves. Now, I grew up on a farm, and so our mothers always had canned goods, supplies on hand, so this is nothing new. I even have another small pantry where all of my canned goods are. It would be like some soups and tomato sauces, beans, all that sort of thing. But never buy anything that you're not going to eat. It's no good to buy anchovies if you don't eat anchovies. So this is another job I got done. You know, emergencies come in all forms, shapes, sizes, but we had an emergency at our house today. I had to dig through 2 full-size freezers to find cherries for cherry pies, and I had none. They were all gone. The last time I bought them, I bought about 50 pounds. So I had to go up to my store. I have a store up the road that sells in bulk, and these are about 25 pounds, maybe 30 pounds of cherries. I'm going to put them in my bags and seal them, and they'll last in the freezer for a long, long time. And I'll put them in 4-cup bags because that's the size that I use when I make a batch of pies for Martin. Crisis resolved and avoided. As you can see, I ended up with 8 batches of cherries. There were 8.5 pounds of cherries. They cost $2 a pound. And I said 8.5. I see you can count 2, 4, 6, 7. I got some thawing. Aren't these beautiful? They're nice big cherries. I've sealed them like this, and I'm going to put them in my freezer that is not frost-free, and these will literally keep for years and years. How do I know? Because I've taken berries out that I did this to after 3 years, they still tasted fresh. By the way, I go to get these, and it's coronavirus time, and I'm standing there getting cherries, and everybody else is buying supplies, and I kind of laughed about how pathetic our life must be that our big supply is cherries. As I let these thaw, I want to give a shout out to my supplier, my dealer as it is, and that's Kaufman's Country Store. They're located on Highway 81 between Beloit and Broadhead, and they have the best eggs. I don't want to give you egg envy, but they are the best eggs. The last time I was at my grocery store, they had red peppers at an insanely low price. I think it was 49 cents, and they were huge. So I got out my dehydrator and I dehydrated peppers. These I cubed or diced, and I marked them up 1 red pepper, so if Martin takes these camping, he knows what he has. And these are for stir fry, and that's probably about 10 peppers right there, at least, of these huge peppers. So I'm going to put those away. Here we are, all done. That is probably about 15 red peppers. I did some of them in strips for stir fry. Those are all done. I used my food saver. I got my food saver at a thrift store for a couple of bucks. I have the big one too, but I like to use this for little jobs. And then these are the bags that I use. I get them off of eBay, and I have always had such good luck with them. You do not need to buy the Food Saver bags. These work great. Some people have asked, how are we doing being sheltered in? Well, during the Y2K, where we didn't know if the electricity was going to go out or not, Martin and I adopted a different lifestyle. We're not preppers. We certainly don't have on hand just the food in my cupboard. So also I started doing this when Martin started doing his canoe trips, and he wanted some good food that didn't cost a fortune because dehydrated meals have little in them and they're so expensive. So this is an old dehydrator I got at my thrift store. I have a couple that are better in that they heat higher so I can do meat in there. See, right here you have dehydrated chicken breast. And I could show you how to do that sometime, but I've got dehydrated venison in there, venison burger. I've dehydrated strips of venison to use for stir frying as camp trips. That's 1 red pepper right there. And it's easy to use. Just throw it in a pot, rehydrate it. Martin will use these camping. I have here peaches, and when these are rehydrated, they taste exactly like a fresh peach. I have here strawberries that are so yummy, and I do these when they're in the stores in the spring, and they're very abundant and sweet. I have green pepper. These are Roma tomatoes, and I can just throw them into a stew pot. This is some of my stuff here, and this is what I do just even on a daily basis. If I find a good buy on a fruit, I will dehydrate it and put it in there. So in a time like this, if it were really bad, we could always have some fruits and vegetables. This is just something we do around here, and these are not expensive if you get them at a thrift store. I use mine a lot. I use it for all kinds of things, but try this out. I don't know if you can see them, but the red-winged blackbirds have returned. All of a sudden I heard this roar outside our house. You know spring's coming when they come back. There must be thousands. In an effort to keep my mind sharp and my fingers nimble, I've taken up crocheting again, and I'm trying to do some more complex patterns. So this is one I did. I rather actually like doing some Irish crochet. That's what this little flower is. This was another project that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing this one. It was a little bigger. And here's the last doily I just finished. This is kind of fun to do. These are all heirloom seeds. When I pick that tomato and save the seeds, I will have the very same plant next year. It's been fun showing you what I've been doing at home. We live in the country, so sheltering in place isn't so keenly felt. I go for walks, I work in the yard, soon I'll be planting my garden. So far this has merely been an inconvenience for Martin and I, but for others we know that is totally different. I pray for you, I pray for my nation and for the world. It's a big prayer list, but I certainly have the time. So take precautions, be smart, and this Sunday you will see my beef venison stew recipe. See you next time.